Peace and blessings, Mishpachah. Yes, we are here. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. I'm Malkia Uriel, and yes, I'm here to share some information with you. I'm here to share in this that we call Shabbat Morning Coffee, and we're going to have a wonderful discussion today. Yes, we're going to talk about manifesting rebellion. Is there something going on underneath the surface? Is there something going on that we're not aware of that's empowering individuals to just manifest whatever they want? Is there something behind that? Is it the will of the Most High? Let's talk about it.
Malkia Uriel. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
Well, peace and blessings to you, my brothers and sisters. Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. I'm Moreh Melki Uriel, and yes, we are back. And as you know, we are Yah only. We are Tanakh only because of the words of the Most High and because of what He has demonstrated before us, that His word endures forever and it is transformative to the heart and to the soul. Also, that what He establishes, it is forever, and that He does not change, according to Malachi 3 and 6, and that He will not change the words that He has spoken out of His mouth concerning the covenant, as is found in Psalms 89 and 34. So we stand before you being flat-footed, standing on the square and saying, hey, we are Tanakh only, we are Yah only. And it is because of the words of Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans, that we are, it is substantiated, I should say. It is not because of what he said, but hey, even he did not subscribe to the Christian New Testament. He did not subscribe to the New Testament. In fact, he stated that those things which must come to pass, those things that are slated to come to pass, are those things that are written in the Tanakh, and not Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Revelation. So we stand upon the word of our Elohim. Our word is the Tanakh, and we hear from Him and we bless Him. We are in covenant with Him. We agree with Him. We agree with what He is doing in our lives. We celebrate what the Most High is doing in our lives, for His hand is active. He is active. He is moving, alive and well. His secret service, the Mal'akim, the secret service that serve Him, they are alive and moving and functioning His will in our lives, and we celebrate that. We celebrate being in the will of the Most High. And so in doing so, we follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and we do therefore follow the covenant. Every law that is pertinent, that is applicable, every law that is whereby we are able to, yes, we do follow it. Yes, there are some laws that we're not able to immediately participate in. For instance, the law concerning Nida. Men do not menstruate, therefore we do not need to seclude ourselves, but nonetheless, that is a law. We don't have a temple, so laws regarding the temple, they're in abeyance until there is a temple, until the Most High raises a temple. But we do follow the laws, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. That being the case, we serve you notice that there is a miniature version of the covenant that you can follow. There's a miniature version that you need to embrace, and that version is found according to Deuteronomy 4 and 13. It is a covenant. It is 10 declarations called the 10 Commandments in our popular society, and we follow them because they are covenant. And so we say before you and before all who would observe our behavior, all who would observe our lives, that we will have no other Elohim before the Most High, and that we will not engrave, we will not create any molten nor imaginary or ideological images to worship, to bow down to. We will not take the name of the Most High in vain, neither will we take his character in vain. We will not take his presence to be vanity, but rather we will honor him and honor his presence. We also will honor our mothers and our fathers, that our days may be long upon the earth, and we will not shed innocent blood. We will not commit adultery. We will not steal that belongs to another individual, and neither will we be a false witness in any matter of adjudication, but rather we will stand in truth, and we will not desire and covet and seek to have something that does not belong to us. For we know that the Most High has blessings for us. We don't need to take or lust after the blessings of any other. That being the case, we then stand upon the 10 Commandments. And so with that being the case, we not only love the word of the Most High, but we also love to pray and to praise. And so at this particular time, we're going to prepare ourselves to pray. And you may ask, well, how do you prepare yourselves to pray? Well, basically you get the junk out of the way. Where you need to forgive yourself, for mistakes that you've made, you need to forgive yourself. And if you have yet to prove to yourself that you can do the right thing in that area, then you need to have mercy upon yourself, and therefore you need to translate that also to others. You must forgive those who have demonstrated consistently that they have the ability to do what is right concerning you in the area where they have trespassed. With that being the case, you can forgive them. But if they have not, then you must have mercy upon them, even as you are seeking mercy from the Most High. But that being the case, you can go before the Most High, either seeking mercy or having forgiven, or a mixture of the two. So at this time, let us prepare ourselves to pray. Let us come before him, the Melech Olam, the King of the universe. Let us come before him and let us exalt him. Most High, we come before you. Anachnu lifnecha. We have come before you, and we desire that you would look upon us as your children. Ki anachnu ha'am shalabrit shelech. Ata yada she anachnu hayeladim shelech yahu. Baruch atah behashemayim. Baruch atah behalavim shelanu yahu. Blessed are you, even in our hearts. You know that we are your people. You know that we are the people of your covenant. Anachnu ha'am shalabrit shelech yah. And you know that we, as we come before you, we desire that you would first of all forgive us. Forgive us for sins. Slikalanu, gam racham lanu yah. Ki hate. Forgive us for sin and have mercy upon us for sin. Ha'het shel ha'avot shelanu, the sins of our fathers. Forgive us for the sins of our fathers. And look upon us with mercy. Have mercy upon us. Ki ata el rochum, you are the God of mercy. You are the Elohim of mercy. And we just exalt you, and we give you the praise, the glory, and the honor. We are celebrating what you are doing in our lives. Even in this moment, we thank you for Shabbat. We thank you for this time where the family comes together We thank you for Shabbat, Most High. We thank you for this time. We honor you in this time. And we want to say, please bless each and every one of our family members, our brothers and sisters that are here, those that will watch. May they be informed, empowered, educated, and illuminated based upon what you will speak. May they be encouraged. May their bodies be healed. Heal them from the crowns of their heads to the toes of their feet. Those who have physical issues, you said in your word that if we followed your law, statutes, and commandments, that we would be blessed, and blessed would be the fruit of our body. So we ask that you would heal us so that the fruit of our bodies would be blessed, meaning that everything that our bodies produce, not just children, but everything that our bodies produce would be blessed. Hormonally, chemically, everything that our bodies produce, that it would be blessed. And we honor you. We honor you, and we receive your healing. We receive your favor, and we receive your help. We thank you, Most High. In this, we honor you. We please you. In your name and in your name alone, Yah. Aman va'aman. All right. Also, you know that we love to praise, and so we are. So let's get ready to give the Most High some praise. My brother Josh contacted me yesterday, and he gave me a scripture, and it brought up a particular praise that we do. And so, you know what? It's just, I'm like, hey, that's right on time. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's get ready to give the Most High some praise. Let's get ready to praise. I put all my trust in you. In me, oh yeah, do we put all our trust in you. Deliver us in your righteousness. Down right here to me. Bow down right here, young to me, and deliver me speedily. You're my strong rock. Forever my strong rock. Say it again, say. All right, we are back. We are back. We are back. All praises to the Most High. And yes, yes, here we are once again. I think we had little technical difficulty there, but hey, we're just going to keep it moving. And hey, let's continue. And we are going to, when I get back, we are going to begin our segment. Yes, we are. We're going to begin. And by the way, I need to get some shout outs. Got to get some shout outs. Okay. Here we go. I almost forgot, y'all. Dealing with technical difficulties, almost forgot about the shout outs. Of course, the person that turned the lights on was my brother from another mother. Yes, Bergen Paris. And let's see. After my brother Bergen Paris, yeah, Brother George Evans. It looks like Brother George Evans turned the coffee pot on, y'all. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Where am I at? Okay. No, it was Moray. Yeah, Moray Yeshaya Torah Lessons. Peace and blessings to you, Moray. I'm glad to see you here. Peace and blessings to you. And my brother Roderick Huggy is here. Peace and blessings to you. Josh and Penny. Yes, Bergen Paris, he is our chief moderator. And Josh and Penny, yep, Josh and Penny, they're also our moderators as well, and I call them the dynamic duo. They do a great job. Josh and Penny, they do a great job, and they're assisting Bergen Paris. Bergen Paris is our Minister of Security, and very glad that you guys are here. You're on the job. You're doing what you need to do. George Evans is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, my brother George. Glad to see that you are here. Timothy Greg O'Haver is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, Timothy. Glad that you are here as well. Gilly, I don't know if you're back in the States or not. I think you are still overseas, my brother. Glad to see you, Gilly. In fact, you did send me a video last week. So yeah, I know where you're at. So peace and blessings to you. Glad to see that you are here. Also, who else? I don't want to miss anyone. My brother Ben Naftali is here, as well as the Minister of Health and Wellness is here. Chanaya Israel, peace and blessings to you, my sister. Glad that you are here. Max Random is in the house. High fives for everyone. Max Random is here. And also, let's see, who else? My sister Christine Croning is here. Christine Croning, peace and blessings to you. And who else? Am I missing anybody? I don't want to miss anyone at all. Repent and save. Peace and blessings to you, my sister. Glad that you are here. And oh my goodness, so many. Let's see here. Who else? Want to make sure that I don't forget anyone. And it looks like that may be. Yeah, it looks like we may be good. Oh, so listen. When I come back, we are going to begin our main topic. Our main topic, yeah, it's going to be just a little different, but I feel that it's needed based upon what I have discovered, what I have been looking at as of late, and there's something about it that we need to discuss. Are people manifesting rebellion? Are they manifesting rebellion? If they are, how are they doing that? And do we have rebellion and witchcraft in Israel? Let's talk about it when I get back. Hi, I'm Melky Uriel, and I'm excited to offer you a brand new course at Navi Beit Academy. One of the first courses that we're developing at Navi Beit Academy, and we're welcoming you. It's called the Hebrew Memorization Course, and perhaps you've been reading some Hebrew reference materials, and you note that the paragraphs are numbered by the Hebrew alphabet, as well as the verses. And you're wondering, well, how do I know which is which? If I want to go to a particular paragraph, how do I do that? You may also be wondering, well, how do I memorize the 10 Commandments? I want to be able to memorize the 10 Commandments and know them frontwards and back and be able to recall them in order and to know which commandment is which. As well as the Hebrew alphabet. I want to know the Hebrew alphabet and their numerical values from 1 to 400. I'm here to tell you that you can do that now. Now there is a course here at Navi Beit Academy where you will memorize
the Hebrew alphabet from 1 to 22 and their numerical values from 1 to 400, as well as the 10 commandments. All anyone will be able to have to do is to just either speak the number or the Hebrew alphabet, and you will be able to recall it. It's as simple as thinking of a number like 19, and 19 in the Hebrew alphabet is Qaf, which its numerical value is 100, and its paleographic Hebrew symbol is that of the horizon. Let's say 3, right? Just a random number. 3 in the Hebrew alphabet is Gimel, and its paleographic Hebrew symbol is that of the foot, and also its number is 3. But guess what? Since it's 1 through 10, number 3 would represent the third commandment of the 10 commandments, which is thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Well, how am I able to do that? I'm able to do that because I've been using this system for some time now, and I'm willing to offer to you through this course at Navi Bait Academy. That's right. You can take your time. If it takes you a week, if it takes you a month, if it takes you 2 years, it's up to you to just study at your own pace. The only thing we ask you to do is just to dig in with us. And I'll even let you in on a secret. You can start the course for free. So thank you very much, and we can't wait to see you on the other side.
All right, my brothers and my sisters, yes, it is time for us to get into the main topic, and we're going to discuss it. One more thing I need to do. Be right back.
Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm so delighted to meet you. I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad that you're curious, and I'm glad that you clicked on the video.
Increasing numbers of Hebrew Israelites all over the world, from Asia to Africa, from Mexico to Germany. There are Hebrew Israelites that are coming together as a nation and as a family, and you are needed. You are needed to take your place as the educator of your families, your sons, your daughters. So we want you to enroll in Navi Bait University so that you can take your place in the kingdom. Now is the time to prepare to create Hebraically centered scholarly materials to educate others, to teach your family, to teach your sons, your daughters, to teach the young, to teach the old, and to bring them into the knowledge of the Most High. The Most High is gathering us together as He has promised. So enroll in Navi Bait University, connect with the administrator and the registrars, and enroll today for just $35 for a bachelor's per month, or $45 for a master's, or even enroll in the doctorate's program. You can get a degree with a Hebraic focus at Navi Bait University. Hebraic education, undergraduate, graduate, and specialty courses. All right, my brothers and sisters, peace and blessings to you. Yes, we are definitely back. Thank you for being patient. As you know, we had a couple of technical difficulties this morning, and I needed to deal with some issues, but there is something that I do want to address. I want to address it because I find that it's very subtle, it's very sly, it's very cunning, and it's basically one's ability to manifest whatsoever they desire. Now, I know at face value, it sounds as if, well, that is wonderful, it's powerful, it's great. You know, someone says that you can manifest something, and let's talk about it. I'm wondering whether or not we are manifesting rebellion. And I say that simply because For instance, if you will, let's do this. Just listen. Just humor me. Spend some time with me here. Let's talk about this subject because I find that it is nothing less than, it's nothing less than intriguing. But I also find it to be very dangerous. Notice, if you will, these are the kind of things that I'm talking about that we will address.
Reality in just 4 minutes. Sounds impossible? Well, Neville Goddard, one of the most powerful teachers of manifestation, believed otherwise. He revealed a method so... Imagine if you could change your entire reality in just 4 minutes. Sounds impossible? Well, Neville Goddard, one of the most powerful teachers of manifestation, believed otherwise. He revealed a method so effective that those who use it often call it miraculous. Yet most people have never even heard of it. Neville Goddard wasn't just another self-help guru, he was a visionary who taught that imagination is the only reality. He claimed that what you assume to be true in your mind must eventually take shape in the physical world.
Now, while there are some truths interlaced in this, right? There are some truths interlaced in this, yet and still, the way that it's being used, my brothers and my sisters, the way that it's being used in a way that would suggest that you can manifest anything for yourself. In this particular case, they're saying it only takes 4 minutes for you to start manifesting for yourself. Now, the reason why this is questionable and the reason why this is cautionary is simply because in the Tanakh, we understand, now those of us that are Hebrews that walk according to the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High, we understand that we look at our reality differently. Now, it's true that while we're talking about spiritual things and we're talking about quantum entanglement and the Tanakh, it's true that we're talking about all of those things. But what we are not talking about, nor are we endorsing, is a way of manifesting any and everything that you want, so that no matter what kind of life you live, you still get everything that you want, which means that you're doing that without the Most High. Now, let me make it real plain for you. And let's talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about it. Let me make it really plain for you. When we take a look here, in fact, I'm just going to give you an example. Let's go into the scriptures. And let's go to, in fact, we're going to go to a scripture that really represents our walk with the Most High. And even from a monetary standpoint, from a blessing standpoint, what our walking with the Most High means and what it does by way of blessings in our level in life. In other words, what we're talking about is our financial standing, our monetary standing. I'm talking about our physical existence. Where are you with the Most High? Are you blessed or are you not blessed? So forth and so on. And how does that relate to the covenant? Okay. And this answer right here, this section right here has a lot to do with where we stand as Hebrews underneath the will of the Most High and in the covenant of the Most High. It has everything to do with that. And so here's what I need you to understand. Here's what I need you to understand. There is a way that this world would want you to walk that would exclude the Most High. In other words, if I learn how to manifest for myself and I learn how to manifest all things for myself, and all I have to do is go through these techniques and begin to manifest for myself, okay, I can then receive whatsoever I want without any regard to my allegiance to the Most High, or whether I'm walking in covenant, or whether I'm righteous, or whether I'm wicked, or whether I'm holy. It doesn't matter, because I've got these techniques and I know these steps and I know how to manifest before the Most High. But for those of us that are Hebrew, we do not walk in a willy-nilly kind of a way, just dibbling and dabbling in spiritual forces and in spiritual things without a deep understanding. We don't do that. Neither do we walk outside the covenant. Notice what we read here in Yes, I'm going here, Deuteronomy 28. And it shall come to pass that if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord your God, Yah your Eloheka, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord, that Yah, your Elohim. See, it's him and not you out of your own will and out of your own forcefulness. It's you. And you know what? You are looking, how in the world are you looking at a different scripture than what I'm looking at? Hold on, let me back up. I'm telling you, these technical difficulties is crazy what's going on here. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to deal with it. Give me just a second, and I'm going to continue my point. I'm going to continue the point that I'm making here. Okay, because it's not for us to say, and let me go straight down the middle. I'm going to go straight down the middle with this and say it's not for us to dictate to the Most High what is and what is not going to be in our lives. That is not for us to do. Okay, but when you are on this path of manifestation and being able to manifest anything and whatever you want, okay, when you manifest whatever you want, then you don't have any need whatsoever for wondering of whether or not you're pleasing the Most High, or even you don't even have to worry about whether you're pleasing to the Most High or doing the right thing, or whether you're holy or whether you're wicked or evil, because you know how to manifest for yourself. And so it then becomes something where, yeah, all I have to do is these 3 easy steps, okay? And notice what it reads here. And it shall come to pass that if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice, Hakol shall Yah Eloheka, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yah, your Elohim, will set you on high above all the earth. In other words, Yah is going to do it. You don't have to manifest it for yourself. Okay, you don't have to manifest it for yourself. He says, Yah, your Elohim, will set you on high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if you hearken unto the voice of Yah, your Elohim. Now, the reason why this is important, because you notice your blessings are in direct relationship with your obedience to the covenant. Okay? Why is that important? Because it's easy for a person to get a blessing that they can't even handle. You're not even ready for some stuff yet, but yet you're begging for it, screaming for it, wanting it. You just got to have it, but you're not even ready for it yet. Why? Because you have not matured and walked in the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High enough to be able to know what to do with that thing once you get it. It's all about the person. It's all about their greed. It's all about them and what they want. Right? And so out of this, what's happening is many, even in Israel, are developing a mentality, a kind of a humanistic mentality that we find in the book of Isaiah. Okay? And yes, we're going to go there. That we find in the book of Isaiah. And we find it. In fact, let's go there. In fact, you know what? Let's go here first. I'll come back to Isaiah, but let's go to Ezekiel 28. Okay? Ezekiel 28. Let's go here real quick. And so we understand what this is, right? This is where the Most High tells the prophet to speak a word against the king of Tyre. Now we're going to juxtapose both of these, and we're going to not necessarily do a comparative analysis, but we are going to take a look at this, and we are going to give you an understanding. Okay, when we look at Isaiah 14, and like I said, we're going to go back and forth. We're going to juxtapose one to the other. Okay. I want you to see this. I want you to see this. And I want you to look at this in light of manifestation. So now, wait a minute. What is manifestation? Manifestation is, in a nutshell, I want, 5 BMWs in my driveway. So, I'm going to manifest that. Let me manifest that. So you want 5 BMWs in your driveway. So you envision it, you feel it, you envision it. This is great, this is great, this is great. And so, okay, it comes to pass that, that you've got 5 BMWs in your driveway, okay? Now, That's manifestation, and that is what many individuals are trying to do. That's what many individuals are attempting to do. And you're actually, the way I see it is you're actually making a covenant, and you're signing a covenant, an agreement that is outside of the Most High and outside of the covenant that he has laid down for you. Your blessings as a Hebrew are tied to the covenant. Your blessings are tied to the Most High. Your blessings are tied to the obedience of the Most High. But I want you to notice something here. When you are outside of the covenant and outside of the system of the Most High, notice what happens here in Isaiah 14 and 12. How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How are you cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For you said in your heart, I will ascend. Now, if you look at this, if you look at the latter clause, in fact, if you look at verse 13 itself, you can take this as an actual statement or an attempt at manifestation. Because this is part of what you have to do in manifestation. You have to have it, you have to get it ingrained in your heart. You've got to, meditate on it so much that it goes past your mind and into your heart. And once you put it in your heart, then you're just going to attract that thing to you, and you're going to attract it. And it's going to, next thing you know, you're going to have 5 BMWs in your driveway. But notice here, this is the same process in verse number 13. For you said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. In other words, you didn't say, Most High, if it be your will, allow me to progress and grow and no, you didn't say any of that. You said, because I want it, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I'm going to exalt my throne, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Now, this is an excellent example for a number of different reasons. Because if you notice here, he did not say that I'm going to be above the Most High. He didn't say I'm going to be, I'm gonna take over, God's throne. He just said, I'm gonna put my throne above the stars of God, not above the Most High, right? But then he says, you know what? I'm gonna sit upon the mount of the congregation. In other words, he basically like, look, man, I'm coming up. I want to come up spiritually. And this seems like, at face value, this sounds like someone who's definitely got ambition. I mean, they got ambition, they got high hopes. But if you notice here, this is something that seems to be godly or godlike, and they want it for themselves. Okay? Look at the desire of this individual who says, hey, for I will ascend into heaven. I'm going to ascend into heaven. Why? Just because I want it? The Most High didn't tell me, but I'm going to ascend into heaven just because I want it, and I will exalt. I will exalt. By means of me manifesting this, all I got to do is get it deep down inside my heart, and just all I got to do to manifest this, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. And he didn't say, I'm going to take over, but he said, I'm going to be like the Most High. Okay, I'm going to be like the Most High. My brothers and my sisters, one of the greatest dangers, one of the greatest pitfalls, one of the greatest failures that we have made, and I say this as humanity in general, one of the greatest mistakes we have made is in sinning and attempting to be godlike. We oftentimes do the wrong thing as we try to approach the right goal, or the right, in other words, we're doing the right thing the wrong way. We want to be like the Most High, but yet we're putting it in our hands, trying to manifest what we desire, what we want, and it's about our manifestation and what we can get and what we can have, as opposed to it being tied to the covenant and it being tied to the Most High, and us allowing the Most High to be our strength and our fortress, as we declared that he was. This individual said in his heart, I'm going to ascend above the heights of the clouds, and he just said, I will be like, I'm going to be like the Most High. Now, again, at face value, it seems like an admirable goal. I want to be like the Most High. But don't you know that's the same thing that Adam and Eve, Adam and Chava, they fell because they were attempting to be like the Most High. Again, they were trying to manifest, and in their case, they were trying to manifest something that they already had. They were already like the Most High, right? In Bereshit 1:27 and also 2, and listen, the Most High said, I will make them in our likeness and in our image. They didn't have to go do anything to be like the Most High. They were already like the Most High. And so they already would have been set if they just had have continued to grow. If they had have continued to grow in the covenant, obeying the Most High, they would have received everything that they needed. No need at all for them to do something different. Let me go there real quick, because I think there's something there that I really need to show you. So again, when we take a look here, notice what the Most High said in Bereshit chapter 1, verse number 26. He says, and let us make man in our image and in our likeness. You're already like the Most High. You don't have to do anything other than grow to be like the Most High. But let me do this. I want to continue this, and we're going to go into 2, verse number 7, and I want to show you something here. Man was formed of the dust of the ground. And I'm making a point here. I need you to follow me. Genesis 2 and 7. Genesis 2 and 7. And Yah formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now, looking at this in the Hebrew, I want to point your attention out to something. So here we see why Yitzer Ya'o Elohim et, Ha'adam, and he's right here, he's making man out of the dust and out of the clay. But I want you to see here, first of all, man became a nefesh. I'm trying to get that other writing. He became a nefesh chaya, a living soul, right? But notice this word here. V'yihye. It means to come to pass. It means to become. In other words, when something, and I'm making this point for a reason, when something is coming to pass, it's not a snap of the finger. It's not a snap of the finger, but it's something that is progressive, and it requires growth. It requires time to enter into the fullness of its manifestation. You get my point? That is entailed in that particular passage, in that verb, because it is within itself. It says that he became a living soul, right? He became a living soul. And because he became a living soul in the Hebrew, what I see is that it wasn't just all at once. Yes, he was alive. Yes, he was animated. But the deeper dimensions of his soul, he was yet discovering what and who that was. And I feel like there is ample proof for that in the scripture. Because if you notice, the Most High said, hey, It is not good for the Adam to be alone, right? He said it's not good for him to be alone. So what did the Most High do? The Most High put Adam to sleep, and he simply took out of Adam what was already there. Chava, everything that Chava was, she was already in Adam. The Most High, I fully understand. I can, and with this particular motif and in this narrative, I can fully understand that the Most High, being himself, being all in all, wanted Adam to see that he had life within himself and that he, like the Most High, on a physical level was self-sufficient. Now, I know we can get into some other topics. I'm not going to get into that right now, okay? I'm not going to get into how he would procreate, but I'm simply making a point here that I want you to see. Adam did not realize what was going on even on the inside of him. And he perceived himself to be wrong, to be alone, because he had not yet understood all the dimensions of what was on the inside of himself. So the Most High had to take out of him what was in him and present it to him in the form of another being in order for Adam to recognize it. He didn't even recognize what was in him. Okay? So the narrative is that Chava came about because Adam did not perceive what was in him. He did not know what was in him. So the Most High took that out of him and then, of course, presented it to him. Which is why he is one when he is with her, because he's being himself. He's back to the fullness of his own being, because that's the way that he started. Well, my point is, Adam was becoming a living soul. He needed to learn more about who he was and about what he had, and he was godlike already and did not need to eat from the tree to be godlike. They were godlike already. Many of us are trying to manifest things that are already given to us, things that already are slated to be ours, and even to grow into things that the Most High already has planned for us. We must trust in the plan of the Most High. We must trust in him and not lean to our own understanding and a lustful desire to just have it. Listen, we already said that we don't lust and covet after the things of others. We don't lust as the individuals of this world does. We don't go there. We don't do that, right? Well, let me do this, and I'm going to share this scripture with you. Okay, this is an important scripture. And notice what is written here. It says, look, when it comes to me in life and when it comes to how things fall, look, verse number 8, Proverbs 30:8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. In other words, I don't want vain things that don't matter, and I don't want deception in my life. Remove that stuff from me. And notice what he says here. Give me neither poverty nor riches, because whether I am poor or whether I am rich, it is by your hand, Most High. It is not by me manifesting. It's not by me finding out a secret and manifesting something. Okay? But it's about me being in covenant with you and thereby learning how to follow your ways, your laws, your statutes, your commandments, and then, of course, receive what you want me to receive. Give me neither poverty nor riches, because my well-being comes from you. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny you. So our well-being comes from the Most High, and not our ability to just magically manifest something, and it is getting into magic, by the way, to magically manifest something, okay? Because what you'll find is that there are individuals who will, let me show you what this gets into. It sounds good at first. It sounds all right at first. It sounds like, there's nothing to this. Oh, this is great. This is good. Oh, I'm manifesting. And it's, it's benign. It's not harming anybody. But let me just show you what it gets into. Okay. And I'm going to show you what it gets into here. Let me pull up the one. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Most
Okay,
people have no clue that in
let's do this.
2025, there's a hidden
Okay,
law that allows
I
any
know
American.
Give me just a second here. Here we go. I want you to see this. I want you to see this. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So this is what it first you're manifesting, and you're just saying, oh, I'm gonna just envision it in my own mind, in my own heart, because I'm manifesting, you know, and then it gets into this where now you're manifesting with mirrors.
You about manifesting using the mirror technique. This is Yvette from My World of Metaphysics, bringing you another law of attraction metaphysical lesson.
And it sounds innocent, it sounds benign, but when I tell you that doing mirror work and doing magic with mirrors, because that's basically what this is, it is not the will of the Most High. And then you get into candles, and then you and basically you're going to be strung along a path where the next thing you know, I mean, you be in front of a pot talking about hocus pocus, toil and trouble. You know, I mean, you know, we don't need to manifest in that way. Okay, we manifest differently. And we don't need any kind of mixture with the ways that the Most High has for us. Okay? It gets into mirror magic, candle magic. Okay? And they'll even start telling you, oh, it works like magic. And I'm trying to find one particular video where they're talking about manifestation. And these were like some of the early founders of this, you know, talking about manifesting. And you can see, you know, the black, you know, I was looking at some of this and I saw this particular video. And in the background, they are actually telling you where this is leading, because you have a black candlesticks in the background. Okay? Which is telling you where that is going. If any of you know, black candles are connected with magic. And so these things, this is where this leads you to. And I'm just simply saying, as brothers and sisters who are following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, we don't need to use magic. You don't need any kind of magic. Okay? Now, I know what some of you would say. Well, you see, when... Okay. I'm going to bring this up right now. Many of you would say, well, see, you know... It really is magic, see, because like the Magi came, you know, and they brought gold and frankincense and myrrh. The Magi, they came, and you know, and so you're like, well, if they're the Magi, then they're connected with this too, and they were used by God to, you know. No. We're not going to use that false story of a false savior and a false Messiah, and attach magi to them and use that to justify seeking magic. No, we're not going to do that. No, you got to do better than that, right? You got to do much better than that. Well, what about when? In fact, did I bring this up the other day? I'm not sure if I did or not. But what about when Moses threw his serpent down, and Yanes and Yambres, they threw their rods down and they became serpents? See, that was magic, and they were able to do what Aaron and Moses could do. See, so magic, see, it really does, No, if you notice, and I don't want to get into all of that, but since I brought it up, you'll find out as we use this as an example, when Moses threw his rod down, yes, it became a serpent. When Janus and Jambres threw their, and by the way, that's not their real names, by the way, but anyway, when they threw their rods down, also became a serpent, right? But what you find is the serpent of Moshe swallowed up their serpents, okay? Which was not supposed to happen if it was all on the same plane and all on the same level, okay? So, again, I'm not saying that there are not spiritual forces out there. Again, there are spiritual forces, there are elements, right? Remember the stair step that we talked about that leads from the mundane to the highest level of the glory of the Most High, and there are Mala'akim, there are B'nai Elohim stationed at every level or frequency, if you will. Yeah. But hey, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to dwell there. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to go there or even go deeper. Because what many of you are saying is, oh, we want to do magic. And listen, you're not going up that stair step. You're going down. Those stair steps don't stop on the planet. They go deeper than the planet. And you're talking about tapping into lower energies and base energies and that even goes beyond the elementals. And so, hey, you want to make absolutely sure that you are connected with the Most High and flowing with the Most High so that you don't have to worry about how that's going to affect your spiritual destiny. Okay? So, with that being the case, I know that there may be a question or two when I get back. We will entertain questions, but for now, yeah, let us not be manifesting rebellion, but rather let us hold to the Most High and seek Him and love Him with all of our hearts. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. I'm going to tiptoe into the chat room, and yes, we're going to entertain a question or a comment regarding the main topic, which is manifesting rebellion. Let's do this as I tiptoe into the chat room, and let's see what you all are talking about. Peace and blessings for Yakahi. And let me listen. We are now open for questions, right? We are open for questions, so now you may ask. All right. Okay, so here we are at this point. We are now open up for questions. All right. Okay. Yes, please. When you ask a question, please definitely put my name there. That way I will know that it's a question or a comment that I am meant to pay attention to. Okay, so the question is, there is a question from KOI, Oklahoma. Peace and blessings to you. Glad that you're here. Shabbat shalom. The question is, so how does spirituality affect our salvation? Spirituality and salvation, when you put those two topics together, you're really dealing with, when you say spirituality, Um, yeah, Christine Croning. Yeah, definitely. When you say spirituality and salvation, okay, we have a spirituality that brings about our salvation. Now, let me explain that. Let me explain what I just said. Our spirituality is found, it's all over the Tanakh, but you can find our spirituality right here in the book of Deuteronomy. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, you have a template of our duty. You have a template of our responsibility and our spirituality right here in Deuteronomy 26. Let me get it for you so that we can talk about it really quick. Now, notice what the Most High says here. He says in verse number 3, of course, we know that we are to observe, excuse me, and that we are to do, okay, that we might increase mightily, right? Again, there is that tie between our obedience to the Most High and every blessing that we need. But as we look further down, we see something here developing, okay? We see something developing in verse number 4 and in verse number 5. Hear, O Israel, okay? Yah, our Elohim, is one Yah. He is one Lord. He is one. And you shall love him. This is our spirituality right here. You shall love him with all of your heart and with all of your soul and with all of your might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. This is your spirituality. Okay? It's a snapshot. It's a portrait of your spirituality. And so what happens is, because we love him and because we are faithful unto him, then in the time of need, he literally saves us out of our physical dilemmas. He saves us and rescues us. Okay? Salvation, the salvation of the Tanakh is not the salvation of Christian lore. Salvation in the Tanakh is where there is a physical threat, and the Most High becomes your physical deliverance from that physical threat. So with that being the case, yeah, we do need salvation, okay? But in everything, he is our salvation. He is our salvation. So our spirituality is necessary for us to experience the deliverance and the salvation that we need in this three-dimensional realm, not when we die. Okay, Christianity's got it all wrong. They got it backwards. Let me tiptoe back into the chat room here so that we can see. Okay. Okay, checking to see if there are any more questions or comments. And yeah, there's my sister Christine Croning says, yeah, it sounds like Kabbalah. Listen, there are many mixtures. And when I say mixtures, yeah, I mean, where do you think Voodoo came from? Voodoo is the Catholic Church mixed with African spirituality, and you got lots of mixtures like that, okay? And I just simply want to say, you have to keep it pure. You must keep it pure until it is proven above and beyond the shadow of a doubt that everything is wrong that we've been told about the Tanakh, and it's all fake, it's all false, and all that. Listen, we follow the Tanakh. We follow the Most High. You know, until I see, like on the Wizard of Oz, you know, the Most High, and there's a man behind a curtain, projecting with cameras and all that stuff. And pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I mean, until I see something like that, hey, I'm going to continue to follow the Most High and walk in the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. My brother Ben Naphtali says, it could be a thin line between good and evil if we are not careful. Wouldn't you say? Yes. Yes, 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 I agree. And I think that one thing that really points to that thin line whether you go from the standpoint of wanting something godly, like members in my family did. They wanted something godly. They were into church. They were preachers, but they wanted to do miracles, and so they couldn't wait for the Most High. So they went out to try to, they did what many pastors are doing in Africa right now, going and getting the black soap from, going and get juju from, the medicine man, and bathing in black soap and speaking your desires, and again manifesting to make yourself look like a mighty man of God, and lo and behold, you're not. Yeah. Whether someone wants to be godly and they're doing it the wrong way, or if you're just simply trying to be blessed and you're like, I can't wait for the Most High, let me manifest this on my own. There's things that point that out, my brother. There's things, Ben Naphtali, there's things that point that out. And even in the Tanakh, and I want to say, when you even look at, again, when Moshe stood before Pharaoh, and you had, the Tanakh says that Pharaoh got his sorcerers and his, he got up his conjurers, and they start, throwing gooba dust around and hooba and doing what they were doing, and they did have some effect. And many of us, we're so deprived for spirituality, true spirituality, and we're deprived for seeing the effects of our spirituality in our modern day world because of Christianity. You get people like, Benny Hinn blowing on people, throwing their jackets, and that's the height of their spirituality. You get people like that, and it's like, is this all that there is? And they want something that works. When I became disillusioned with the church, and I did what I would call field research. I wanted to know what worked. I wanted to know what was real. I was disillusioned with the church because of all the games. I saw too many games. I saw lots of fake, false, money grabbing, kind of foolery, and I got tired of it. So yeah, there is a thin line. There is a thin line between good and evil. And we must be careful. That is a very good point, my brother. We must be careful and make sure that we are fully and completely on the side of the Most High, following the law, statutes, and the commandments. Because you don't need to dabble with anything else. You do not. Whether it's to be blessed or to be, get something that you want, or to be something. No, you don't need to dabble. Because believe me when I tell you, you're going to have to pay the piper. You're going to have to pay the piper. It ain't free. You're going to have to pay the piper. And like I heard someone say, when him come calling, when he come calling, you ain't going to like it. You are not going to like it. So yeah, we do have to be careful, and we do have to make sure that we are following the law, statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. Definitely. You got to do that, right? All right. Don't know if there are any other questions or comments. I'm looking. Yakahi says, does Yah allow the priests, the Levites, to perform spiritual rituals by his instructions, as he told Moses and Aaron to do in Egypt? The Most High, in fact, in the Tanakh, there are rituals, if you will. The dealing with the spirit of jealousy, okay, in the book of Numbers, that is a ritual that is to be performed by the priest, in the likelihood of a man being overtaken with the spirit of jealousy. Yeah, there are things that the Most High instructs that the priests do, definitely. But by means of these spiritual rituals, okay, rituals are rites, and there is no greater leader or ruler of the rites, or king of the rites, or one who governs the rites than the Most High. Okay, no one at all. So again, you do have to be careful, because listen, I'm telling you, it is a thin line. My brother said it very succinctly. There is a thin line between good and evil, and we really have to be careful to make sure that we're on the right side of that line. Okay, because many people are manifesting and they're doing things because they want. It's kind of like people want. Yeah, they want to be blessed, but they want to know that they have something that works. And a lot of times people develop the mentality that they had in Mitzrayim. In Mitzrayim, they said, look, if I don't get it this way, I'm going to get it that way. Now, that is the mindset of the modern day Satanist that says, hey, by any means necessary. They employed a number of different spirits. I'm talking about those of ancient Mitzrayim. They employed like anyone that'll get the job done, right? We don't want to be that way, right? We don't want to be that way. So we are with the Most High. We are sanctified unto Him and Him alone. And we do not need any other. Okay? All right. Well, hey, when I get back, we're going to go into another segment. Unless there's another question. But we're going to go into another segment. When I come back.
Polygamy? That was the last week.
So, by now, I'm sure that every single
to demonstrate the power of the gods and the strength of the participants' faith. Unfortunately, hospitalization for blood loss is not uncommon.
This is how to get in shape fast.
Okay, hold on, y'all.
A dead pope on trial.
The Catholic Church actually put a dead pope on trial. And if that's not crazy, that's just crazy.
As a 2,000-year-old institution, the Catholic Church has many skeletons in the closet. Some of them are literal. In the year 897, Pope Formosus was put on trial by the Church. What made this trial unusual is that Formosus had been dead for 7 months. Successor Pope Stephen VI ordered the now rotting body exhumed and dressed in papal attire. Formosus was propped up onto a throne in the middle of the proceedings, accused of having illegally ascended to the papacy, and, you guessed it, found guilty. His body was dumped in the Tiber River, though later recovered. News of the affair spread, and the people of Rome rebelled against Pope Stephen.
Oh no, the Pope! Oh, someone do something!
And as a result, the verdict of the Cadaver Synod was later reversed. Shrita requires animals to be killed without anesthesia. Kashrut is the system of dietary laws and restrictions in some forms of Judaism. Restrictions like the prohibition of eating pork or shellfish are well known outside of the Jewish community.
My understanding of
now, this is actually in
that
relationship to
it brings the
animal activists saying, oh, you don't use any anesthesia, you don't use any.
That's going to be processed.
Lesser known, however, are the methods by which foods are deemed kosher by a mashgiach, or kosher supervisor. In particular, the kosher slaughtering of animals, or sharita, specifies that animals must be killed by severing the jugular vein.
One of the elements to it will be actually the physical holding of the chicken. Hold the neck as tight as possible and making the cut in the right place.
It also does not allow for any form of anesthesia first. This practice has recently garnered criticism with animal rights activists. However, according to some researchers, such as Temple Grandin and Joe M. Reed, must be treated equally.
One of the conditions of polygamy is that you have to be fair and just between your wives.
Accepting blood transfusions violates biblical commands to abstain.
That only because I think it's this country that things like that don't happen.
After a number of skirmishes and small battles, things came to a head in 1838. The governor of Missouri ordered their extermination.
The state militia launched a surprise attack on a Mormon settlement called Hans Mill.
Almost all of the 10,000 Mormons in Missouri fled, and they eventually settled in Utah. That didn't end the conflict, however. In 1857, President Buchanan sent a military force to Utah.
Buchanan set out a laundry list of alleged treasonous activities committed by the Mormons, and in May 1857, he sent 2,500 heavily armed federal troops to subdue the Utah Territory.
Fearful of more persecution, Mormons blocked the army from entering the Salt Lake Valley, and there were some violent incidents, including the Mountain Meadows Massacre, where non-Mormon settlers were killed. Eventually, the church and the U.S. government came to terms in 1858, though tensions lasted long after that.
Now, my reason for bringing this up and for playing this is because of where we're at right now, brothers and sisters. Where we are is we're in a, for those of you that have been watching and those of you that understand, part of Project 2025 is basically to make Christianity the religion. Okay, I know that people thought that the one world religion was going to be something different, but yeah, it turns out that, yeah, you know, Christianity is that religion that's going to be the one world religion. And so what does that then tell you? But there's going to come, I believe, there's going to come a level of persecution. And just like you see here where you had people of one persuasion fighting against others, you're going to see that right now. In fact, you're already seeing it when it comes to the left and the right. There's going to be, there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of infighting. And so, hey, even though it's said that they have plans for melanated people, long story short, I say, let them duke it out amongst themselves and let us be saved by the Most High. And I'm looking at a comment here. My sister Christina says, we are blessed whenever we worship the Most High intentionally, definitely. So we're okay, we're good. And you know what? Bringing up that Pope, making sure that the Pope was tried even though he was dead, I'm sorry, but that is just crazy. All right. This section is about Hebrew money. Hebrew money, listen, I'm going to suggest that we recognize and realize that our money system, that the system that we're talking about, when we talk about Hebrew money, it's a Babylonian system. And where applicable, where possible, we need to make absolutely sure that we detach ourselves from the Babylonian system. The Babylonian system of finances. So what does that mean? I would strongly suggest, now this is going to have to be in levels, it's going to have to be in steps. I would suggest that we detach ourselves, okay, from the banks, and that you prepare yourself to be able to move outside of the confines of a bank. That you look at ways of finding the dollar a safe haven, whether you use Bitcoin or whether you do something else. It is very necessary. And with that being the case, I mean, there's not much I want to say about Hebrew money, but let's look for ways of actually doing something different with our money. I will be right back. I've got to tend to something, and we will be right back, my brothers and sisters. There are increasing numbers of Hebrew Israelites all over the world, from Asia to Africa, from Mexico to Germany. There are Hebrew Israelites that are coming together as a nation and as a family, and you are needed. You are needed to take your place as the educator of your families, your sons, your daughters. So we want you to enroll in Navi Beit University so that you can take your place in the kingdom. Now is the time to prepare to create Hebraically centered scholarly materials to educate others, to teach your family, to teach your sons, your daughters, to teach the young, to teach the old, and to bring them into the knowledge of the Most High. The Most High is gathering us together as He has promised. So enroll in Navi Beit University, connect with the administrator and the registrars, and enroll today for just $35 for a bachelor's per month, or $45 for a master's, or even enroll in the doctorate program. You can get a degree with a Hebraic focus at Navi Beit University. Hebraic education, undergraduate, graduate, and specialty courses. Increasing numbers of Hebrew Israelites all over the world.
To get a feel for public opinion, I asked Google, was Jesus Jewish? 3 of the top 5 results correctly identified Jesus as a Jew and situated him within the Jewish culture of his time. But I was startled to see that 2 of the results linked to articles claiming that Jesus was not Jewish at all. Apparently, even though we have easy access to scholarly works that confirm the Jewishness of Jesus, a public perception of Jesus as a Christian, not a Jew, persists.
He was a Hebrew.
If Jesus was a Jew, why are his followers Christian? The problem with this question is the implied assumption that there was such a thing as Christianity during the lifetime of Jesus or his early followers. None of them changed religions or abandoned their Jewish heritage. As J. Dominic Crossan pointed out in my recent Bible and Beyond podcast interview with him, the question we should be asking is, what kind of Jew was Jesus? The answer to that question requires us to consider the Jewish cultural context of Jesus' experience. In understanding the diversity of Jewish theology of that time, we can better understand how the Jews following Jesus eventually became separated from the Jews who followed other leaders. Okay, so what kind of Jew was Jesus? Jews of the first centuries, like modern Europeans or Hispanics or any other nationality or ethnic group today, held extremely different views about their own national identity. They disagreed, even vehemently, about their shared historical identity and how to address their contemporary predicament with the Roman Empire. Different segments of the Jewish population identified their Jewish heritage quite differently. Bible readers would already recognize differences existed between the Pharisees and Sadducees. Jewish tax collectors, who gained wealth by cooperating with the Romans, were considered to have betrayed their Jewish heritage. And there was a whole community of Jews known as Essenes who were quite frustrated with the way the temple was run. They opted out of the larger temple priest community and devised their own rules of conduct to reflect what they considered to be a more original and pure form of Judaism. Although Jesus and his cousin John, the baptizer, were also displeased with the temple practices, there is no record of either man associating with the Essenes. They concurred with each other in their displeasure and opposition to the Roman Empire, but even they were different kinds of Jews. John focused on baptism with an apocalyptic eye on the future, whereas Jesus was more concerned about the kingdom of God already present and active.
Lies. Okay, so in this controversial corner, there are some things that have been brought up that I would like to address in a nutshell. One is that while this particular individual brings up a number of different issues discussing the definition of a Jew or the understanding of what a Hebrew truly is in the first century context, it is necessary for us to gain an understanding of basically learning. Okay, let me put it to you this way. It's necessary for us to learn from the past and to learn from our mistakes. In the past, we were individuals that, again, saw differences, right? Saw to define ourselves different ways, but then chose to separate based upon those. I believe that there is an era and a time coming where we will see that it's necessary that we join together despite our differences. Which is why at first I was debating, love debates, but then I began to see how debating simply separates, and then I began to see that, you can have a build with a brother, you can have a build and you can talk things out, but it's necessary that we remain unified, okay? It's necessary that we remain unified and that we, no matter what, stay together, even though we may disagree with one another on certain minor issues. Now, even with important issues where we would disagree, we still must remain brothers. We still must remain together. We still have to be one family. And on that particular note, then it becomes controversial. What do you do then? What do you do then when you have a Hebrew brother or a sister that strongly disagrees with something that you believe in or hold to, but they go the opposite direction? How do you remain in unity? How do you remain together? How do you get along, so to speak, and how do we remain one family? Well, I think that there's a lot that we can learn. There's a lot that we can learn even from our enemies, and that they will actually be fighting amongst themselves, but they will get together to withstand you, and then they'll go back to slapping each other. And I think that is something that we ourselves as a people need to embrace once again, a level of unity that would say, hey, even though I don't agree with 100%, I mean, Who says that in order for us to talk together, in order for us to be connected, that I have to agree with 100% of everything that you say? Okay? And so, and thank you for that, KOI Oklahoma. That's why I stay open to conversations with other brothers. Because unity is what is most important. Okay? Notice in Psalm 133, it doesn't say, behold how beloved and how pleasant it is for us to be right in every conversation. It says, behold how pleasant it is for us to dwell together. In unity is what it's trying to communicate. So looking at that, then we understand that, that there is a need for us to be unified no matter what. And I think it shows a level of maturity. It shows a level of strength. It shows a level of committedness. It shows a level of love when we remain together and unified despite our different, and I'm talking about known differences, right? If you believe that your fringes should go all the way around your garment, but I believe that they should be just at the four corners, guess what? We're both wearing fringes. So let's honor the law that they point to, rather than finding a way to be divided because you like the fringes that go all the way around the hem of your garment, and I do those that are at the four corners. So, yeah. We need to remain unified, my brothers and sisters. And I will say this, we need to remain unified, but we also need to be of a healing disposition. If there's one of us that's, dealing with an issue, we need to band together and help that person, right? And we can't be like the church that kills their wounded. We can't be like the church. Okay? We're supposed to be the children of the Most High. So let's act that way, okay? So with that being the case, it's necessary for us to keep that in mind. And even though it's controversial, because, hey, there's going to be some things, you may not keep Shabbat on the same day. You may have a floating Sabbath. We're still brothers, and we need unity. So let us make absolutely sure that we are maintaining unity, maintaining strength, okay? And that we are keeping the family together, okay? And not dividing ourselves, all right? With that being the case, we'll be right back. All right, just real quick, let me pop in here. Michael Charles Marsh, peace and blessings to you, my brother. Glad that you're here. Michael Charles Marsh says, you know what? I don't understand fringes, man. I don't understand. Just real quick, I'll share with you a couple of scriptures, okay? And as I share these scriptures with you about fringes, in fact, I did a whole lesson on fringes. But I'm just going to mention these two verses of scripture, and then we'll move right on. Now, let me ask this. You're saying that you don't understand them. You may know where they are in the scriptures, but do you mean you don't understand the purpose or why we would wear them today, or you don't understand how to do it according to the way that the Tanakh says? That is a question for you. Because I can give you the scripture regarding Yeah, I was reading a comment. Yeah, and I was looking for an answer from my brother. I will wait for an answer. Well, I know who you all are. Okay, how to do it. Okay. One of the things I want to show you is that I'll show you the scriptures. Now, I'm going to keep it to you. I'm going to give it to you plain and straight. The tzitzit that I wear, or the fringes that I wear, I buy them off of Amazon. I make sure that there is a blue thread, okay, intertwined within the tzitzit or within the tassel itself, and I will share with you the scriptures as to why that is necessary. Okay, let's go into the scriptures here, and real quick, we'll just do this. We'll go to Deuteronomy 22 and 12. And I want you to notice here, my brother, the Most High gave them instructions, and in verse number 12, this is Deuteronomy 22 and 12, which says, "Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, wherewith thou coverest thyself." Now, back in the day, they used to make their garments a square, just a long square, okay, with either a hole cut out of the middle or a hole cut out for the head, and perhaps a neckline, okay, they cut maybe like a V into it, but that's basically what they did. And so they would put the tzitzit on those four corners of that garment. Well, today we don't make clothes that way, but the Most High said, I want you to put these tzitzits, I want you to put these tassels there so that you would be reminded to follow the law, that you would be ever mindful of my word, and that you're walking in my covenant. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to put these on your garments, and I want you to wear these on your clothes. And that's what he said. Well, also, there's another scripture in Numbers 15. And let's get that. And notice what it reads here as well. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes upon the borders of their garments." And this word for borders actually is corners. Okay. And it coincides with the other scripture that I just read. And that they put these fringes upon the borders, and a riband of blue. So you got to have the blue ribbon with the fringe, but it's a sign, okay? "It shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yah and do them." So it is a part of our being obedient unto the Most High, and our actually being reminded of the law, and that is exactly what it is. Now, we do that. Now, I actually have, like I said before, I get mine from, I've got them from Amazon. Okay. Let me even show you real quick before we go to the next segment. Let me show you real quick. Let me pull this up. Now, at first, when I first started, I would wear these undershirts, okay? But then I progressed from those to getting seat like this off of Amazon. Now, I really do like the kind of, like, if you notice, if I can go in big here. Okay. If I go in big, you'll see that in the loop here, now I like the ones that have a knot in the loop so that you don't have to worry about separating this when you put it around your belt loop. So that's what I do. I make a quarter of my belt loops. So I put 2 in the front and I got 2 on the side. And that's the way I do my tzitzit. Okay, that's the way I have them on right now. Okay, I wear them on the corners of my belt. I don't know if you can see this on camera. No, well, you can see that, but you can't see where I got it looped onto my belt loop. But when I'm at work, I tuck them in. But when I am out of work, yes, I do just let them fly. So that's basic. Just a quick little rundown, just a quick little basic thing about Tzitzit. So hopefully that helps you, my brother. We're going to go into our next segment in just a second.
It's time. How Hebrew are you? It's your chance to show how much you know.
Let me back up here just a second before we get into our next segment. I did see the comments regarding Royal Roots. Listen, I love my sister as well. I do love my sister. I understand that we do have a different perspective, and I would love to have a conversation with her. I would love to speak with her, talk with her, and hey, perhaps we would be able to connect in some way and collaborate. But yeah, I have nothing against her at all. I love my sister, you know. Hulda is, I think in many respects she's great. Really do. So I would love to have a conversation with her. I guess the opportunity has not arisen, but nonetheless, like Brother George Evans says, I believe Royal Roots and Malkia would have a great collaboration together because they both do point to their teachings and Hebrew breakdown of the language. Just my observation. And so I have no problems with that at all. And again, I welcome my sister, and I would love to have a conversation with her. But hey, as Yah wills, as it develops, may it be so. Who knows? So, with that being the case, let's go to our next segment.
A fun learning exercise for all Malki Uriel. Let's get ready to play.
It's time for How Hebrew Are You? Okay, something is definitely wrong here. Hold on. you? Do I know about the supernatural? Question number 1. How Hebrew are you? The miracles and supernatural works can be done by anyone with spiritual know-how. The miracles or the miraculous and supernatural works can be done by anyone with spiritual know-how. Is the correct response A? It's true and it means that you're approved of the Most High? Or is the correct response B? No, the Most High is the only one that can do or grant miracles to be done? Or is the correct response C? This is only true of the Messiah alone? Or is D the correct response? What can we say it's true? Or is E the correct response? Meaning, hey, none of the above. All right, we have a few people weighing in with D. We have individuals weighing in with B's. Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with the B. Jermaine Deacle, peace and blessings to you, brother. He weighs in with the D. Gilly weighs in with the D. Repentant and Save with the D. Yakahe weighs in with a B. And who else wants to weigh in? How Hebrew are you? George Evans weighs in with a D. Shania Israel weighs in with the B. Jacqueline E. Buggs weighs in with the D. George Evans weighs in with the D. In order to answer this one correctly, you have to really look at what is being asked or what is being stated. The miraculous and supernatural works can be done by anyone with spiritual know-how. What is the answer to number 1? While B is true, the correct answer is D. In Exodus 7:11 through 12, then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. The correct answer is D. It is true. Question number 2. When the Most High does a miracle, He never does anything that puts anyone to a disadvantage. When the Most High does a miracle, He never does anything that puts anyone to a disadvantage. Is the correct response A? It is true. That would be evil. Or is it B? No, the Most High works righteousness, whatever that means. He does. Is the correct response C? This will be true when the Messiah comes. Or D, what can we say? It's true. Or E, what can we say? It's not true. What is the correct response? When the Most High does a miracle, He never does anything that puts anyone to a disadvantage. Jermaine Deacle weighs in with a B. Unfortunately, our sister Christine can't see the questions. Sorry about that. Michael Charles Marsh weighs in with the B. Gilbert St. John weighs in with the B. Kanaya Israel also weighs in with B. Josh and Penny also weigh in with the B. Yakahe weighs in with the B. Repent and Save weighs in with the B. Looks like we have a consensus. What is the correct answer for question number 2? The correct answer is it's supposed to be B. I apologize. It is B. In this, the answer B and E are actually correct. The scripture is 2 Kings 6:18 through 19. Apologize for the ambiguity. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto Yah and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way, neither is it the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. That being the case, hey, congratulations to everyone. It is B was true and E was true. I admit I was looking for the answer E. Let's go to the next question. How Hebrew are you? The spiritual realm isn't far from our world, but it overlaps our own. It's almost like being in the same space, but a different dimension. The spiritual realm isn't far from our world, but it overlaps our own. It's almost like being in the same space, but a different dimension. Is the correct response A? If this was true, there would be no need to go to heaven. This is false. Is the correct response B? No. Heaven, which is misspelled, heaven is a different place, like a different planet. Or is it C? This will be true when the Messiah comes. Or will it be D? What can we say? It's true. Or E? What can we say? It is not true. Bless you, my brother Ben Naphtali. Jermaine Deacle weighs in with a D, and we have, looks like we have a consensus of D's. What can we say? It is true. Gilly weighs in with the D. Christine Croning weighs in with the D. Josh and Penny also weigh in with a D. And so, what is the correct answer? The correct answer is D. What can we say? It is true. 2 Kings 6:15 and 17. And when the servant of the man of Elohim was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host encompassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Yah, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And Yah opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots. that spiritual realm was right here amidst our physical realm all the time. Question number 4. The spirit world is very different than ours. It has angels whose spirit is located somewhere else. The spirit world is very different than ours. It has angels whose spirit is located somewhere else. Excuse the typo. And what is the answer? So far we have one person that weighed in with a B. Okay, we're waiting for more answers. We have an E, we have a B. We also have another D. By Repentant and Saved. Josh and Penny weighing in with the E. Also Jermaine Deacle weighing in with an E. Yes, Gilbert St. John weighs in with the B. Michael J. Marsh weighs in with a D. Jacqueline E. Buggs weighs in with an E. Okay, what is the correct answer? Going once, going twice. The correct answer is D. Yakahi, you're right. The correct answer is D. The spirit world is very different than ours. It has angels whose spirit is located somewhere else. And what can we say? This is true. Ezekiel 1 verses 19 through 20. This is coming from the New English Bible. When the living beings moved, the wheels moved with them. When they flew upward, the wheels went up too. The spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. The spirit of the living being was in the wheels. So wherever the spirit went, the wheels and the living beings also went. When the beings moved, the wheels moved. When the beings stopped, the wheels stopped. When the beings flew upward, the wheels rose up. For the spirit of the living beings was in the wheels. What can we say? It's true. Congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to everyone that did get, yes, the correct answer. And we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm so delighted to meet you. I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad that you're curious, and I'm glad that you clicked on the video.
Is Jesus God? And if he
We're now ready for the Scholar's Spotlight.
is God, where in the Bible does it state that he's God?
All right, let's see it. John chapter 8, verse 15.
Is Jesus God? And if he is God, where in the Bible does it state that he's God?
All right, let's see it. John chapter 8, verse 58. Jesus says, before Abraham was born, I am. Now the Jews did not call God G-O-D. The Jews called God Yahweh, which is the Hebrew verb to be. I am who I am. There was no misunderstanding. The Jews picked up stones to stone him for blasphemy. Before Abraham was born, I am. Deliberately, Christ is claiming to be God.
So this is an attempt to try to assert that there is only one answer to the New Testament's algebra regarding Jesus' relationship to God. But there is a better answer that was already in circulation within the Judaism of the time. There is a more explicit and direct and intentional way to claim to be God. And we see the messenger of Adonai in Exodus 3:6 using that method when saying to Moses, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. So it can be that explicit for an entity that is not God. What we have in John 8:58 is not that explicit. It is just Jesus saying, before Abraham was, ego eimi, which is a standard clause in Greek, but also happens to overlap with the way the Septuagint has rendered two different means of self-identification by God. Now, this is claiming some kind of special relationship to God's name, but it is not necessarily saying, I am God, because in this time period, there was a tradition in circulation that would continue in circulation for centuries after this time period as well, regarding authorized possession of the divine name and the exercise of divine prerogatives and the manifestation of divine presence. We see this solution already way back in Exodus 23 verses 20 and 21, where God says they're going to send an angel before the Israelites, and that angel will have authority over the forgiveness of sins. Why? Because my name is in him. And this is a way to suggest that the name is a communicable vehicle of divine agency, divine authority, and divine presence. And this is further developed within Greco-Roman period Judaism. You have the Enochic Son of Man, who is named with the name, the divine name.
In that passage that he just cited and alluded to, the Most High never said that I have given him the power to forgive sins, meaning the angel of the presence. He never said that. He just said that he is not going to forgive your sins.
Before the foundation of the earth.
As if any angel has ever been able to forgive sins.
And this is one of the things that will facilitate everyone on earth worshiping the Son of Man. We have the Apocalypse of Abraham and the angel Yahuel explaining to Abraham that they engage in creative acts and do the things that only God is supposed to do by virtue of the mediation of the divine name. We even have Metatron asserting possession of the divine name, and in later Jewish texts, people confusing Metatron for Adonai because Metatron possesses Adonai's name and can be referred to as Adonai as a result. They're even referred to as the Adonai Katon, the little Adonai, in another text. And so what is going on in John 8:58 is participating in this tradition regarding the divine name. Jesus is not saying, I am God. Jesus is using this Greek translation of Echia Asher Echia as well as Ani Hu to kind of wink and say, I am the authorized possessor of the divine name, as it says in the hymn in Philippians, that he was given the name that is above all other names. So this is the significance of the repeated use of this phrase, ego eimi. It is not to identify Jesus as God, but to identify Jesus as the authorized possessor of the divine name, and therefore authorized to exercise divine prerogatives, authorized to manifest the divine presence. And this is how seeing Jesus is seeing God. It's the exact same logic of divine images, and I discuss this in much more detail in my book Adonai's Divine Images, A Cognitive Approach. You can find free access to the PDF of this book through my link tree.
Then in John chapter 10, verse 30, Jesus says, I and the Father are one. No misunderstanding. They didn't think, oh, I see, this guy's a Hindu. He thinks everybody's part of God, so he's claiming that we're all a part of God. No, no, no. Jesus was a monotheistic Jew.
Jesus was not monotheistic because monotheism did not exist within centuries of Jesus' lifetime. And I and a few friends have organized a conference that will take place next May at Brown University on why the Bible is not monotheistic, and I'll have more details on that in the future.
While you're watching this, my email
So, very interesting answer, but bottom line of it is, Jesus, JC, is not God, never said he was God, never said that he was so, and not only that, but that the Messiah himself never ever said that he was God in the flesh, meaning from the standpoint of the Tanakh, or what the Christians called the Old Testament.
I and the Father are one. Once again, no misunderstanding. The Jews pick up stones to stone him for blasphemy.
So two concerns here. First, the fact that John is representing these Jewish people as being pretty trigger happy with their accusations of blasphemy is not an indication that they understood he was claiming to be God. It is a part of the author's anti-Semitism, but additionally claiming to be the authorized possessor of the divine name and claiming to be one with God are also things that could be interpreted as blasphemous in this time period. So there is not only one solution to the algebra of why Jesus is saying these things. There are other solutions, and in fact there is a readily available solution that is developed in the Hebrew Bible and further elaborated on within Greco-Roman period Judaism that makes much better sense of what is going on in the New Testament as well as in the Gospel of John specifically. The other concern is that Jesus saying I and the Father are one is not a claim to being God, particularly in light of the intercessory prayer in John 17, where the author represents Jesus praying 3 times that his followers become one with him just as he is one with the Father, so that they are all one together. So if we want to understand Jesus claiming to be God by saying I and the Father are one, then we must understand Jesus praying that all of his followers become God, just as he is God. That does not make sense of this text. There are absolutely no grounds for arguing that in the intercessory prayer Jesus is referring to some other kind of oneness, given that he explicitly states that the kind of oneness he wants his followers to achieve is the exact same kind of oneness that he has with God.
Then by his deeds, he obviously claimed to be God. Mark chapter 2. Jesus is teaching in a packed-out house, and all of a sudden the roof is ripped open, and a paralyzed man, is lowered on a mat to his feet. Jesus looks into the face of the paralyzed man and says, your sins are
forgiven.
George, you got it.
And then they got mad, and they were confused. He was trying to weigh that forgiving sins is way more powerful than raising a man who's crippled.
Bingo. By claiming to forgive the sins of a man he'd never probably seen before, Jesus is claiming to be God, because only God can ultimately forgive my sins.
This is a flagrant misreading of this story, which is representing the Jewish folks as misunderstanding their own tradition. As I already explained, God gives the angel in Exodus 23 verses 20 to 21 authority over the forgiveness of sins. So it is not true that only God can forgive sins. In fact, Jesus later on is going to give his disciples authority over the forgiveness of sins as well. So Mark 2 is not representing Jesus as operating within this expectation of the Jewish crowd. It is representing the Jewish crowd as misunderstanding, which is why Jesus' response is not wink wink. Jesus' response is so that you might know, correcting your misunderstanding, that the Son of Man has authority on earth as well to forgive sins. Jesus is not saying, yes, you're right, what do you think that means about me? Jesus is saying, no, you're wrong. You don't understand the existing tradition regarding the Son of Man, who also has authority to forgive sins. Again, going back to the idea in Exodus 23 verses 20 to 21 that the angel has authority over the forgiveness of sins. Why? Because my name is in him. The angel is the authorized possessor of the divine name. Jesus is saying the very same. I am the authorized possessor of the divine name.
Most people have no clue. The best way to...
All right, so with that being the controversial corner, essentially we're looking at people who believe that, and they misunderstand, they misunderstand, and they say that, well, Yeshua ben Yosef, he's God in the flesh. And we know that that is not the truth. And so with that being the case, hey, that was just a little bit of a reminder from the Scholars Spotlight. And Gilbert St. John says, Moriat Malkiah, the Fluke Testament is a lying book, then why JC even a topic to them? For he was not even mentioned. For he was not even mentioned as one to come, unless I'm way off. No. Of course. JC is not the one that was mentioned to come. So I don't think that you are wrong in that sense. So, hey, let's move on. We're going to move to the next segment. And, yeah, here we go. Oh, we got chicken, y'all. We got chicken. He's taking his time. I don't think I've ever tried this. What does that do? Does that make it easier to cook or tender? Okay, I would need a little bit more seasoning than that, buddy. I appreciate you working that little bit in there, but... Looks like he's about to make some fried chicken, y'all. I like the idea. I would have just wanted some more seasoning. I'm just saying. Okay, hey, are you a pescatarian? I've been thinking about becoming a pescatarian. Ah, okay. Oh, sweet chicken. Maybe he's making his own teriyaki sauce. I mean, that seemed real easy. I would say that's like a homemade teriyaki sauce. All right, sounds like something to try. And I'm wondering if you're gonna have some rice. You got some rice with that? What are you gonna have with that? Well, definitely looks good. Definitely looks good. Definitely. Thank you, my brothers and sisters, for being with us today. I apologize. Not only was I a little tardy, and yeah, we had technical difficulties, but for just, man, I just wasn't feeling the best today, but that's okay. We're going to relax, and we're going to allow the Most High to minister to us. And so, hey, I can't wait. So peace and blessings to you, my brothers and my sisters. Allowing you to enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. May the Most High bless you. May He keep you. I'm Mori Malki Uriel. Love you all. Love you dearly. Pray that the Most High blesses you in everything that you put your hands unto. And until we see you again, hopefully, Yah willing, we will see you for the fourth day, Yom Revi'i. And hey, peace and blessings to you. We'll talk soon. Bless you all. Love you.